Hello students, I am Rahul and I welcome you all to the Reliable IAS Academy. Today we are going to learn the topic of Preamble to the Constitution of India. Before starting this lecture, let's discuss the agenda of this lecture and what we are going to learn in this lecture. In this lecture, first of all, we will learn what is Preamble. What do we mean by Preamble, right? Then we will learn from where we get the inspiration to have a preamble in our constitution. After this, we will see the explanation of preamble word by word. We will explain each and every word of this preamble in detail. Then we will see what is the connection of preamble with objective resolution, whether preamble is amendable or not, whether preamble is part of the constitution or not. So let's start this lecture. What do you mean by preamble? Preamble is like an introduction to the Constitution of India. According to N.A. Palkiwala, preamble is identity card of the Constitution. Just like each and every book used to have a preface from where the reader get the idea about the book, in a similar manner, we have in our Constitution, we have our preamble. By reading the preamble itself, the reader get the idea about the whole Constitution of India. It is very important document of the Constitution. According to K.M. Munshi, preamble is horoscope of our Constitution. Just like a horoscope, you get the nature of the person. In a similar manner, by reading the preamble, we get the nature of our state. We get the objective of making this state of India. According to Aladi Krishna Swami Iyer, preamble is what we have dreamt so long. According to Thakur Das Bhargava, preamble is soul of the Constitution. So preamble is very important document to understand the minds of the Constituent Assembly. So before starting the Constitution of India, it is advised to every student to go through the preamble of the Constitution, because it contains the philosophy and the values of the Constitution. By reading the preamble, you get the idea about the whole Constitution of India. Now we will see what is the connection between objective resolution with the preamble. Objective resolution is like a blueprint of the preamble. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who was our first Prime Minister of India, had moved a resolution for objective. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who was the Prime Minister of India, had moved objective resolution on 13 December 1946. After reading the contents of the objective resolution moved by the Jawaharlal Nehru, the Constituent Assembly passed it on 22nd January 1947. If you go through the words of the objective resolution, you will find that most of the keywords are reflected in preamble. Once the objective resolution got passed by the Constituent Assembly, it forwarded to drafting committee under Dr. Ambedkar. Dr. Ambedkar modified the objective resolution in preamble. Dr. Ambedkar, before modifying the objective resolution, get the inspiration from preamble of the US Constitution. So from now onwards, we will look what is the connection between US preamble and Indian preamble to the Constitution of India. Now you can see the preamble to the Constitution of United States and preamble to the Constitution of India. Both these preamble start with the word "We the people." US Constitution start with "We the people of United States." In a similar manner, our preamble start with "We the people of India." So we can say that we get the inspiration from US Constitution to have a preamble of our own. So you got to know that from objective resolution, we get the preamble to the Constitution of India. So now let's explain this preamble to the Constitution of India word by word. First of all, we will read this preamble. The preamble says, "We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all just fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. This is Preamble to the Constitution of India. In this preamble, we have to learn the meaning of the words used in this preamble. The words of the preamble have wider connotations, and these are very subjective also, right? So first of all, we will start with the word "we the people of India." This phrase "we the people of India" has a very important meaning. It tells that the people of India has given the authority to the Constituent Assembly to draft the Constitution of India for the people of India. It means if somebody is ultimate sovereign in this country, it is people of India, because it is people of India who is source of authority. Source of authority is people of India. The ultimate sovereign is people of India. It is the people of India who can give power to the government to rule this country, and it is the power and responsibility lies with people of India. The phrase "we the people of India" also shows that we have not drafted our constitution under any external pressure. It is the free will of the people of India to draft the constitution, and the Constitution of India reflects the common desire and our common aspiration of the people of India. In the Constituent Assembly, there were other suggestions also to start our preamble. For example, H.B. Kamath had suggested that we can start our preamble in this manner: in the name of God. However, this idea got rejected by Dr. Ambedkar by giving the logic that if we start our preamble with "in the name of God," it will not include that group of people who are atheists. But if we start our preamble with the phrase "we the people of India," it will include all those people who are religious and atheist both. The other suggestion was from Mahavir Tyagi, who said we cannot use the word "the people of India." However, this statement is also got rejected by Dr. Ambedkar by saying that we are inspired by the US Constituent Assembly, which was not also directly elected by the people of United States. In a similar manner, the members of Constituent Assembly, though not directly elected by the people of India, yet they are elected by their representatives. So it is right to use this word "we the people of India" in the start of the preamble to the Constitution of India. Now the words in the preamble like sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, all these words talks about the nature of the state of India. What kind of state we are going to make is getting indicated by these words: sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic. By explaining all these words, we get the idea about the nature of state of India. The first word is sovereign. The meaning of the word sovereign is there is no external authority above India. Or we can see that the word sovereign indicates that India will be free to take its external as well as the internal decisions. There will be no authority above state of India. The word sovereign comes first. It means the first attribute of the state of India will be sovereign. If we combine this word sovereign with the word "we the people of India," we'll get the idea that if someone is ultimate sovereign in our nation, it will be the people of India, because these people of India will transfer the power to the government to take their internal and external decisions. Being a sovereign nation means India can acquire a foreign territory or can cede a part of its territory also. For example, the land boundary agreement. And India had acquired foreign territory in the past, for example, Sikkim, Goa. If sovereignty is very important for a state of India, we must be knowing it is whose responsibility to protect the sovereignty of India. You must get the idea that it is the responsibility of people of India as well as the government. The government means the ministers, the MPs, the MLAs. So you must be curious to know that whether it is written somewhere in the Constitution of India that it is the responsibility of the people of India to protect their sovereignty, whether it is written somewhere in the Constitution of India that it is the responsibility of the ministers to protect the sovereignty of India. For this purpose, you have to refer the fundamental duties under Article 51A Clause C, which says that it is the duty of all citizens to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India. It means the first person who is responsible to protect the sovereignty of India is the people of India. It is also the responsibility of the ministers to protect the sovereignty of India. It is written under their oath, which is mentioned in third schedule. The oath of Chief Justice, Union Minister, and Member of Parliament has given under third schedule. Now we'll see the oath of the minister and whether it contains the word sovereignty in their oath or not. We will see the minister take the oath by saying that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and I will faithfully and concisely discharge my duties as a minister for the Union. So it is very clear that the responsibility to protect the sovereignty of India is not only of government but also the people of India. Now a question arises whether joining of India as a member of Commonwealth or any other international organization, for example WTO, United Nations, will erode the sovereignty of India, because if we join any of the international organization, we have to follow the rules and regulations prescribed by these organizations. The answer is no, it will not erode the sovereignty of India. Now what is the logic behind it? Because joining any international organization, whether it's Commonwealth or any other organization, is the sole decision of India. It is the sovereign decision of India to join any of the international organization. So if we join any international organization and we have to follow their rules and regulation, it does not mean that it will erode the sovereignty of India. However, in reality, by joining these international organizations, we will enrich our culture, diversity, and also get benefited from their terms and conditions. The next word is socialist. It was adopted in the Preamble by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act during the tenure of Indira Gandhi. Whenever a nation adopts the ideology of socialism, its focus will be on bringing equality in the society. This equality will be focused on economic terms. Socialism ideology has a wider meaning. There are many forms of socialism. For example, revolutionary socialism, Fabian socialism. Communism is also an extreme form of socialism. So out of these, we have adopted democratic socialism. It's very difficult to define socialism because of its different meaning. It has been said that socialism is like a hat which had lost its shape because so many people had tried to wear it. In the DS Nakar versus Union of India case, Supreme Court had defined Indian form of socialism. According to Supreme Court of India, Indian socialism is the duty of a state to reduce income inequality, reduce life standard inequality, welfare of laborers and other marginalized class, and reduce any other kind of exploitation. We have not followed that communist ideology of bringing extreme level of equality and barring the private entities. In Indian form of socialism, both public sector and private sector will coexist. However, there will be 5-year plans. With experience, we find the different features of Indian socialism. For example, reduce inequality of income by different government welfare schemes, social justice, dominance of the public sector in key public sector enterprises, planning and regulation. Indian socialism has focused on land reform. For example, evolution of the Jamidaris by bringing Jamidaris Acts, redistribution of surplus land from landlords to peasants, welfare programs, bank nationalization. Presently, Indian government used to run different welfare programs to bring equality in the society. For example, in the health sector, there is Ayushman Bharat scheme to provide health insurance, which covers almost 50% of the population. For those people who do not have their own houses, there is a scheme called Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. For the people who do not have food, there are a scheme for PDS, Public Distribution System. For those people who do not have employment in the rural areas, there is a scheme called Manrega schemes. We have right to education, right to health. By these welfare measures, Indian state will try to bring equality in the society, especially in terms of economic. The next word is secular. This word also added by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. If a state is secular, it means that the state will not have its own religion. If the state will not have its own religion, it means that it will provide a right to freedom of religion to their people. It will not discriminate between the people on the basis of their religion, and there will be no religion of the state. Now we see that the Indian secularism is totally different from the Western form of secularism, because in the West, secularism means complete separation of church and the state. However, we have not adopted that Western form of secularism where the state will be completely independent from the religion. However, in Indian form of secularism, or we can say that in Indian secularism, the state do interfere in the religion, but in positive manner. For the betterment of the religion, the state can interfere in the religion. There are so many examples of this. For example, opening the doors of the temples for Dalits and women. In Tamil Nadu, the state had banned the Jallikattu, which was a bullfighting festival. The state had banned triple talaq in the Muslim community. The state had drafted a Hindu Marriage Act where a Hindu male person is not allowed to go for more than one marriage. This is how we see that the state do interfere in the religion. It do not only interfere in the religion, it provides financial aid to the religion also. For example, different pilgrimage yatras. In the Muslim community, the state provides support to the Hajj Yatra. For the Hindu community, it provides support to Kailash Mansarovar Yatra. So, Indian form of secularism is totally different from the Western form of secularism. In France, we used to see different type of religious conflict in their state, because in France, display of religious symbol in public is banned. However, we do not put such kind of restriction in Indian society. People are free to manage their own religious affairs. We have provided fundamental right to freedom of religion under Articles 25, 26, 28, 29 and 30. Also, it is the fundamental duty of every Indian citizen to provide a common brotherhood ambience in the country. In this manner, the Indian form of secularism is very much different from the Western form of secularism. The next word is democratic. Whenever there is a democracy in a state, it means that the rulers are elected by the people. In a similar manner, in our country, the rulers, especially the Council of Ministers, the MPs, the Prime Minister, are getting elected by the people of India. Democracy can be of two forms: direct democracy, for example, Switzerland, and indirect democracy like India. India is such a vast nation. It is not possible for a nation like India to adopt direct democracy where decisions will be taken by the people of India directly. So we have gone for the indirect democracy. In this indirect democracy, we have adopted the parliamentary form of democracy, which could be also two types. It could be either constitutional monarchy or republic democracy. We have chosen the republican form of democracy, where the head of the state, in case of India, the president of India is indirectly elected by the people of India, and the members of parliament, especially in case of Lok Sabha, are getting directly elected by the people of India. The famous definition of democracy is given by Abraham Lincoln, who says that democracy is government of the people, by the people and for the people. Since India has adopted a representative parliamentary democracy system, in this system, executive will be responsible to the legislature of India. The next word is republic. Whenever you see this word republic, you must get the idea that the head of the state is elected by the people. In case of India, the head of the state is president, and the president of India is indirectly elected by the people, or we can say the president of India is getting elected by the representative of the people. For additional information, we must know that the president of India is elected by the elected MPs and elected MLAs of the state.